So that's my heavy tone, which is free to download in the description. And for those of you that already have that patch will know that I have the wah set to auto engage when I move the expression pedal forward. Now I've got the GX10 sitting on the desk over here because I've got it plugged into my DAW and I'm recording the sound simultaneously. And I'm using the Boss Tone Studio to actually change the parameters. So let's just have a look quickly at the Tone Studio. So you can see as I move the pedal forward, you can see the wah turns on and off, and also the pedal position changes. So now what if I wanted to set up a whammy style effect with the pitch shifter and have the actual pitch changing? Well, I've got the wah already set to do that. So I want to go through a process of what you could do to be able to use both effects simultaneously and toggle between the two within a single patch. So first of all, let's set that up using the pitch shifter here. So I'm just going to set the pitch shifter just before my overdrives. Now I'm just going to change some parameters to get the sound the way I want. Now essentially when I've got this and I'm using it as a whammy effect, for this particular effect I want it so that there's no direct level. To get the cleanest sound possible, you can change the mode, and that will actually change the speed of the processing, which will sometimes smooth out the actual sound. You can hear how when it's trying to process it fast, it's sounding a little bit glitchy. Slow seems to give me the best sound. So you could also set this to mono. I think that normally tracks single notes better though. You can also smooth this out by adding a little bit of pre-delay, so it gives it a little bit of time to actually process the signal. So I would just use very small values here, otherwise you'll get some latency between what you're playing and what you're hearing back. So here's what I want to do. I want to set it so that both effects turn on with the expression switch, and then both effects are controlled with the expression pedal. And then we'll talk about how we make it so that we can control one or the other, okay? So let's go into the expression controls. And I'm going to first of all change, before where I had the wah turning on and off, I want to edit that. And you can see that it's currently set to the actual expression pedal. But what I want to do is change this to the expression switch. And I want it to toggle on and off. And we'll just go over to the settings, and we're just going to change the active range settings that I previously had back to their default. Okay, so now I'm going to close that, and this time I'm going to set number 10. We'll edit, and we'll go to page 1, and we'll set the target category to the pitch shifter. The target parameter is on and off, and we want it off in the default state and then on, and we're going to toggle this with the expression switch in the same way that we did with the wah. Okay, so we'll close that, and now we're going to set the pedal position. So we'll turn on number 11, and then we'll edit. Again, we're going to go to the target category. It's going to be pitch shifter, but this time, instead of being on and off, we're going to set this to the pitch. And from here you can set what values you want it to change between. And let's say for an example, I only want to go down an octave and I want to go up an octave. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do here is set this to the expression pedal, expression 1, and we'll close out of there. So now, if I close that, you can see the pitch will change. Fully forward and then fully back. And we've set up our pitch. So now let's turn that on and hear what that sounds like. Okay, so we know that we've got the expression switch set to actually toggle the effects both on and off at the same time. So in this scenario, I don't want both effects on at the same time. Well, I don't want to hear both effects on at the same time. So it's okay that they both toggle on with the expression switch, but I want to be able to control which actual effect I'm hearing. So let's have a look at how we now set that up. And this is done by toggling the actual effect level. So in this patch here, what I want to do is have it so that the state of the effects level changes, and I can toggle between the effects level of the wah and the effects level of the pitch shift. So as an example, let's go into the controls here and let's set up a couple of different controls. So the first one I'm going to set is the wah. So let's go wah, and this is going to be the effect level. So I'm going to have this so that the wah is the default preset, okay? Because you're likely to use the wah more. So I'm going to have the minimum set to 100 and the target max set to 0. And in this case, we're going to set it to, let's see, manual up. So now this will function when I'm in manual mode and I'm pressing the manual button up. Okay, so now let's make our second adjustment here. So we're going back in and we're editing, and this is going to be now the pitch shifter. And this is going to be the pitch level. So it's going to be this one here. And now we'll have the reverse. So we'll have the target maximum at 100 and the minimum at 0. And again, we're going to set this to the manual up. So now I've got the wah in its default position, and when I hit the up button, you can see that it then changes to 0. If I toggle over to the pitch shifter, you can see that the level is 100 and then it's in 0. Okay, so now I've got the pitch shift. Which is fine, but when I toggle to the wah, we don't get any sound, and that's because there's no level now passing through the pitch shifter. So what we need to do is change the direct level to go to 100 when the pitch shifter is not engaged. So we'll make one more setting here. We'll go into the assignments and we're going to set this to pitch shifter. Where are we? There it is, pitch shifter. And we're going to set the direct level, and we're going to set the minimum to 100 and the maximum to 0. And again, we've got the source set to the up manual button. So now there's our wah when we toggle the switch. So there you go. It was maybe a little bit complicated, but essentially it's doable, and you can do this with any 2 effects. In fact, you could do it with 3 effects if you wanted to. You could actually set the same thing up but have the direct level toggling using another control button. But essentially the main thing to remember is that you're turning both effects on at the same time, but you're basically setting the output level of each effect in opposite range to each other, so that you're only hearing one of the effects. And of course you can have both effects on at the same time if you want that particular sound, but that's basically how you can do it. So expression pedal control.